hellscape that is the UK. Anyway, we mentioned. So let's get quickly into this week because I think Francesco's going to go out. I don't know, stalking people, whatever he does for fun.
It's my birthday, so I'm allowed to do that.
It's your birthday. Oh, I
It's my
didn't know that.
birthday today. Yeah.
Oh, happy 80th.
And it's not an April Fool's. It's really my birthday.
Happy 80th birthday.
Oh, really?
You know, you don't
Happy
look a day
birthday,
over
Francesco.
you don't look a day over 70.
That's not true. People always say I look younger than I am. You're just envious that
I did. No, you do look younger. You're 80. You look 70. Well done.
Yeah.
So anyway, since it's your birthday, we'll move on to your favourite topic.
I can't wait to do that.
So yeah, it's just a repeat of what was said last week. Only instead of the UK, it's now Japan. Yeah. Japan just says Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard won't harm competition.
Yeah. Although I mean, it is a bit more outstanding in that. Well, first of all, it's Japan, so it's Sony's home turf, you know. So I'm wondering if they were probably expecting heavier resistance, but actually Japan cleared it unconditionally on their phase one analysis, whereas, for example, other regulators did not. So they were even faster approving this. I guess there is the fact that, well, in Japan, this really doesn't harm the competition because Xbox is just such a small segment there.
And and Japan's got a bit better taste, so they don't really care about Call of Duty that much.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, it's definitely another one in the pocket for Microsoft, and it shows that they have increased confidence at this point that this really is going through. I guess now the big thing to see will be, well, of course, next month there is the final verdict from both the CMA and the EU.
Yeah.
But then it will be mostly a matter of the FTC whether they want to continue. Yeah, if they want to continue delaying it, or I mean, Microsoft could technically, if they get the approval from Europe and UK, they could technically say, whatever, we'll still close even with the FTC pending lawsuit. Apparently, they can do that, although of course it's not ideal. But the thing is, most lawyers say the FTC would likely lose, especially. Like I said, if every other regulator on the planet approves it, if they go to trial, they'll likely lose. So it depends whether they just want to continue fighting for the sake of it, which they have done in some cases recently under Lina Khan's chairmanship, or not. I guess we'll see. But yeah, it looks like it's happening, and we can also see it from. For instance, Microsoft has finally removed the long-standing $1 promotion for new Game Pass subscriptions. So it looks like they are getting ready to maybe even increase the price because that's something people have been expecting. If
it's going to happen.
Yeah, especially if they're going to add Call of Duty, Diablo, and etc. Of course.
Of course, that's the whole reason they're buying, and you can justify a price increase, then you've got more.
People have to pay for the acquisition now. You wanted these games on Game Pass, now pay for them.
The thing is, and this is something that sort of clocked in my head as time's gone on with this deal, the more that Microsoft get these massive things, they've got Elder Scrolls, Fallout, or anything by ZeniMax, and soon anything by Activision Blizzard, I get the feeling that you're not going to see as many third-party games on Game Pass because you don't need as many. And that's then when they look at, well, they just look at, see what games they can, well, people will buy the console for the Games Pass if they want a console for certain games, and then Microsoft will then go back to getting the 30% or whatever fees from developers for the copies that get sold on the Xbox. So it's a sneaky game, but I can see that happening. It's what I'd do in a business sense. You lure people in, and because they've been luring people in with third-party games, which isn't going to be cheap for them. And now it's a case of, they won't need the third-party games. They've got enough first-party. So
I agree. It's probably a consideration because they were thinking, look, all of these third-party deals are very costly for us. What if we buy the publishers instead?
Yeah,
it's
what
long
I'd
term is So for example, Arc 2. Well, it was just delayed, but other than that, it's one of those very big deals where Microsoft, to have it day one on Game Pass, it will cost them millions. So likely. So I think, as you said, probably we will see less of these deals and more of just indie developers, probably complementing Microsoft's own studios. So that's probably, and also on the upside, however, like if you have some friends and family for Game Pass, they are about to launch the friends and family subscription, but it's actually already out in some countries, and it's pretty convenient. For example, it's already out in Ireland, and over there it's like 22 euros, but you can you can have 5 people playing it at the same time, so you can split the costs to 5 people, and it's like a bit more than 4 euros per month, which isn't a lot at all, so it's something that I guess Microsoft will do to offset probably the increased cost of the single individual subscription.
It's just I don't care about that, at least, because, well, who has friends or family? I mean, I have family, but what are friends?
We are your friends.
Yeah,
but, well, of course.
Friends.
I mean, of course you are. You're just like me, go around prowling behind people in bushes, stabbing them when their backs are turned.
I don't stab them, I strangle them.
Okay, there you go. Wearing their skin as ornaments. It's just fun.
Reminds me of something.
Agent 48.
Yeah, with much more hair.
Oh dear. So I've said what I need to say. I can just see what's coming. I just can see what's coming. There's going to be fewer third-party things, which makes sense, and the idea is to lure people in with the first-party Game Pass, keep the subscriptions raking in, and then double down by, just by getting people buying third-party games as they used to. That was always the console model. Try and lure people in with first-party and make money by third-party.
Yeah, it's already like this a bit, like now, because there's a lot of third-party games that have just been available for a few months, and then they were just removed. So it's a bit like this already.
Yeah, we're just returning to the old style of consoles. It's just literally returning. We've had an unusual start where all the subscriptions and everything were trying to take a bit of precedent, and then now it's going back to, here's our first party, come buy our console, and please buy everybody else's games so we can make money off them, please.
Yeah.
So anyway.
To add something, but to be fair, Microsoft never said subscription was going to be the only way. They always said this will be an additional way to get to our games, but it will never be the only way.
No,
So
I know they never said it's the only way, but they have been sort of pushing it as a very core focus for a while.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So, in fact, we'll move on to Microsoft's competition. Actually, right? I was going to do this third, but instead, so the PSVR2 is struggling, according to what you've wrote.
What a surprise! What a surprise!
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, at that price, it was happening anyway because it.
Yeah. So basically, there was a report from Bloomberg a few months before the launch of the PSVR2 that Sony was very bullish about it, and that they had ordered like 2 million units to be ready by the end of March, which is, so they were thinking like they'd sell 2 million units in a little over a month, which was insane. And then, I think after a while, Bloomberg said, no, they are halving their estimate, but Sony denied it. They said, oh, no, we are confident in PSVR2. But now, the most recent estimate from EDC, which is a pretty big analyst firm, basically they estimate they sold just, less than 300,000 units. So it's very, very disappointing result for Sony, but just like Francesco said, the price is way too high. Of course, the hardware is good and it's been praised everywhere basically, but the price is just way too high, and it's even higher than the PSVR1 when it released, because
it's even higher. It's even higher than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah,
that you need to use it.
So, and also the launch lineup wasn't exactly stunning. Most of the games were just PSVR1 games with more features, upgraded resolution, stuff like that. There were a few standouts, like, for example, Gran Turismo 7 was very good. It's the full game. And also Resident Evil Village, quite a few games that were interesting, but overall, there's also the fact that the VR market is just is just small. There's no way around it. For instance, Tencent also was making a VR headset, and recently they abandoned the project. So
honestly, I don't see VR doing it. I just don't see. Yeah. I mean, I've even the one that I've used in the past, the HTC Vive Cosmos, which I got sent to review, and I got essentially they never wanted it back, so I've reviewed a few games on it and I've played a few games on it. It's now in its box. It's now in its box on the top of a cupboard because VR doesn't interest me. And
it's just that it's difficult to make something different from what is already been made so far for VR, because there are too many limitations. There are space limitations. You have to take so many things into account. Controls. The only thing you can get decently on that, it's games that are already in first person, like Resident Evil Village, and maybe racing games too. But I know Skyrim VR is good and all that, but
the reality, the only game that's worth getting VR for, no, that's wrong. There are a few games. Boneworks is quite fun, and there are a few of the smaller games. But the only real big hitter game that you need VR for is Half-Life Alyx.
Yeah, that's
and
the only one.
I've uninstalled that now. That I don't think I've ever got the intentions of putting the VR headset on again. It will probably be sat in its box now forevermore.
And you can even play that. You can even play that in without VR because there are mods
Well,
for
yeah.
it. Well,
Well,
I don't
yeah.
know how good it is compared to the
Yeah.
vanilla game, but
Well,
it's an option if you don't have VR.
yeah. Well, in theory, VR has a lot of potential. It can increase immersion, a lot compared to like flat screen
Yeah.
gaming. But like we've been saying, just too many limitations and too many hassles in general. It's all the cards, for example, PSVR2 still has a card,
Yeah.
which is necessary because without the card you lose some image quality, you increase the latency and whatever. But on the other hand, the card is very annoying. So, and also you have to be willing to put this big headset on your head, and it's it's troublesome.
Yeah,
to
I just don't see myself ever using the VR again.
Yeah, I guess maybe one day when VR will be able to be projected into our eyes simply with very small
Glasses.
eyeglasses. Yeah, eyeglasses, shutters. Yeah, maybe that will
Yeah,
be worth it.
potentially, yeah, but yeah, I just yeah. In fact,
It will take a
do you
long
want do you
time.
want to do you want a HTC Vive Cosmos, Francesco?
It'll be £2,000.
Oh no, I won't charge that much. Ah dear. So yeah, unshocked.
Yeah.
I am
So,
not shocked. I am not shocked.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
One more thing is that I don't know why Sony is so fixated on not making their headsets work on PC straight out of the box, because that would have increased sales.
yeah.
Because people have to make so many workarounds to make them work. I mean, I think the PSVR2 is not yet fully functional on PC, but the first one I think it is, but it took some time and plenty of work. So since they're embracing the PC market, I don't see why they're stuck like this. Well, I know why they're stuck because they want to sell more consoles too, but
Yeah, but the PSVR2 won't sell that many more consoles. So
no, of course not.
yeah, you're right. It's weird, and also I think when Microsoft said we aren't noticing that much of an interest in VR, there were a few who criticized them, and now they're, I guess, a bit vindicated.
I'm never going to defend Microsoft on that point because, well, what was you just need to say the word Kinect.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
well, they
that
tried.
was
They tried.
Yeah. And I say the only reason they know the newfangled stuff isn't going to work as expected is because they really tried to push it and they killed studios over trying to push it.
It was the time where everybody was trying to emulate the Wii.
Yeah, I
Even
know.
Sony had that. What was that PlayStation Move? I think was
Move,
called.
yeah, PlayStation Move.
They had that thing, so they were trying to.
But at least Sony didn't kill Lionhead Studios and
no, they did not. Yeah,
and almost kill Rare over it.
Sony did kill Evolution Studios, though. But yeah, that's another topic.
Yeah,
the ones behind Drive Club, for instance.
Yeah.
But yeah, but on the other hand, Sony is doing well on the regular PS5 sales, which I think they made just a record sales in February in the US. So for the console, and surprise, surprise, your Hogwarts Legacy has beaten Call of Duty.
I am not surprised.
What a shock!
I am not shocked. As well, of course I'm not shocked. I've been saying it. If I was saying it, of course it was going to come true.
This one was very easy to. This one was very easy to predict, anyway.
Oh, don't take it away from me. Just accept I am the Messiah.
And by the way, just a quick one, because I was thinking about that when I read that. I had the prediction come true. That's Multiversus doing shit and getting removed. I got that one.
Well,
So for once, I can say that I got something right.
Yeah, I didn't make any
And that Chris
predictions on.
didn't.
I didn't make any predictions on multiverses because, well,
Yeah, no,
what's
it was obvious.
multiverses?
It was obvious.
I said,
No.
what is multiverses?
Well, it had, I think, 20 million players at one point, so it
Yeah,
wasn't exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Well, yeah. So COVID had 20 million sodding carriers. It doesn't mean it's good.
But Francesco said that it was pretty good, right? Except
yeah, it was. Yeah,
monetization.
it wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. But what I said is that it didn't have. Fighting games nowadays they just live on the competitive scene, and
Yeah.
that was what I said, that it didn't have any competitive legs because of those perks and the free to play, the monetization, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was right, because there never was a competitive scene around it. They made some like invitational tournaments, but it ended there. Like 2 months after the beta was launched, they were just done with it. So.
Yeah. Now they are closing down the open beta and relaunching early next year, but I guess we'll see if it comes out.
Yeah,
But
to be honest, I think the damage has been done now.
Yeah.
and also there are really big fighting games coming up, right? So
Yeah,
it's-
yeah. There's a reason why Smash continues to be the platform fighter. Even though Nintendo is not that much into the competitive scene, but it's just that they were just trying to get too many people in, and then trying to squeeze them with those microtransactions. And when that stuff goes into the mechanics, that's when
Everybody
I mean,
gives up.
even Capcom did something like that years ago with Street Fighter X Tekken, when they were selling gems. These gems
Oh
were kind
God,
of
I
items.
remember that.
Yeah, well, outside the fact that they had all
I never
DLC
played
characters
it.
from
I just
this.
remember it.
Yeah, because it was big. Because they had all DLC, all announced DLC characters on the game's disc, and you were essentially buying an unlock key. And then there was this thing about the gems, that they were like, things you could activate when you were fighting to get advantages, and some of them were paid DLC.
Yeah. Okay.
The game tanked. And Capcom stopped doing that shit. I mean, they're selling characters, but that's it. No more of that.
Well,
When
about right.
multiverses add that in, that's the first thing I thought about. This
So,
isn't going to go. This is going good, and that was it.
So, yeah, I don't care about fighting games anyway. So
I know. I just wanted to say that I get things right. That I get things right too.
of course you do. It's like you're finally learning from the master. I'm finally rubbing off on you.
Yeah.
Or rubbing you off. I'm not sure which one.
No.
Way.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And on that note, let's talk about Dragon Age. I don't know how that's a good segue, but then again, to be fair, actually, it is a good segue because the absolute atrociousness that was
Yeah.
Anthem rubbed off on Dragon Age, and they thought, oh shit, we best not make this a live service game because Anthem was utter dog shit, and only child molesters liked Anthem.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's actually what they thought, but that's what I'm sticking to.
Well, they also thought that Jedi Fallen Order did well as a single player game, so that was also a big factor.
It did.
Yeah.
So yeah, and well, the news is that basically Mark Darrah was been a long time basically franchise director of Dragon Age. He had left BioWare in 2020, I think.
Yeah.
And now is rejoining the Dragon Age Red Wolf team as a consultant, and basically he will help with the completion of the game, especially with making sure the game is fully compliant with the fans' requests, with what they think is very important to the game and stuff like that. And also, they are also pulling some people from the Mass Effect, from the next Mass Effect game, basically to help finish Dragon Age. So
that means that Mass Effect Andromeda 2 is going to be delayed. Oh no.
It won't be Andromeda, but
no.
They're calling it Mass Effect.
It's interesting though, because on one end the article said that the game is in post-production. So on one end it sounds like it's not that far from the release date, but on the other end, I don't know. Do you really bring this, Mark Dara on if it's really nearly done? I don't know. It's weird because the game has been in alpha from I think October last year, and usually, historically, BioWare games release very quickly after the alpha, so like 6 to 8 months or something like that.
Yeah,
so
they probably had a lot of work to do when they were removing all the previous live service aspects and also giving it content so it was an actual game, not just an empty shell.
Yeah, but well, maybe there's hope for a late 2023 release date, or at least maybe early next year, like February.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for the late one, November-ish.
And if that happened and the game turns out to be good, it could be kind of an awesome 6-month period for RPG fans, because we have Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16 in June. Then we have Baldur's Gate 3 and Starfield in September. And
I find it hard to count Baldur's Gate 3 because I played it first. Like I think I was 12 when I first played it. It's been in early access that long. It's a fantastic game, but
I mean, it's not. I haven't played it, and a lot of people too are waiting for the full game.
Yeah, me too. I didn't want to start playing, and then
I had to. Yeah, but but I had to play it because I was the one previewing it. I didn't have a choice.
Too bad for you.
Oh well, it'll be fine. We'll make it up to me by giving me Final Fantasy 16.
That's gonna be a tough one. I think we're gonna have to do a battle royale thing.
I'm more than happy with that. One of us on the teams had some sort of training in self-defense and such as that.
Okay. When you put it like that, but you have to remember that Francesco here can stealth ambush you. So
I lift weights, so it will take a long time to kill me to get to the organs.
So do I. I also eat a lot of pork pies. I've got muscle and fat to protect me.
Me too, but I don't need your stuff. I'm not in the UK. So I don't know how much fatter.
Oh dear. So anyway, yeah, Dragon Age. We'll see. It'll. I'm not hopeful. I'm just going to stay completely neutral because EA have proven time and time again that if something is possible to fuck up, they will figure it out and fuck it up.
Oh, that bad. I have to say this because a lot of people say Mass Effect Andromeda was shit and it wasn't as good as the first 3 ones, but
it was very poorly opt.
Yeah. No, but the game was fun to play. I mean, I think it's the best Mass Effect combat system because I replayed it recently, not all of it. I just tried it out a bit because I got that itch, and it's a shame that it released in that state. But
that's what I mean. It was EA that fucked it up.
It's not a disaster like Anthem.
Yeah. EA fucked
Not many
it up by
games are a
forcing
disaster
it through.
like Anthem, anyway. But...
Yeah, I think absolutely. I've also completed Andromeda a while ago, and it's a good game. It's not great, of course, but like you said, the real black sheep is Anthem by far, and not only because of its quality, but also because they left
shit.
it to die. Yeah, they left it to die because there was still a chance to save it. We've seen
There
comebacks
was no
before.
chance to save it. I said that from day one. It was
There
it
it is.
it was always dead. It was always dead. It was dead on arrival because same as anything, people will lose interest in a game that's got no content. And to be fair, in a game that is also, well, not that it hasn't got a fun gameplay loop. At least the thing you can say about Ubisoft games that may have started a bit iffy and whatnot, but I mean Rainbow Six Siege, I mean that's massive, and it wasn't massive at the start, but it retained and it gained players, same as For Honor, and
Yeah, but
I've just noticed the good Ubisoft games are those where they don't bother sandboxing it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I meant basically, because of course they had promised like years of content for Anthem, and they didn't even get 1 year of content.
No.
So that's the shame, because
Could be worse. It could have been Babylon's Fall.
Well, that one too didn't get 1 year of content.
That barely got even a month of content.
Yeah, they got like 3 seasons, I think. But
yeah, they released season 1 on Saturday, season 2 on Tuesday, and then season 3 on Sunday.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Anyway, yeah, I guess the biggest news this week, although it was kind of obvious at this point, E3 is cancelled.
I am shocked. Or not.
Goodbye, E3. Yeah, I think this is it for. I think this is it. Really, they're not coming back.
No, of course they're not.
It's everything has changed so much, and then why should company pay so much money to be there when they can get the same thing by doing their own events?
I guess. The weird thing is that, well, at least the organizers are saying all the companies save one, which is probably Sony, but all the companies were on board at first. They were like, okay, we'll do it. And then suddenly, like 2 or 3 months ago, they were, but we haven't got enough games. Our codes won't be ready, or it's not a good time economically. So they basically had a shitload of excuses not to show up. And it's weird because I think we've said it before, but that includes companies who are on the ESA board, for like Microsoft. Microsoft was like, oh yeah, we are committed to E3 as part of ESA, but they don't actually show up then on the E3 show floor. So yeah, but as Francesco said, it's just way too convenient to show the games differently nowadays, with digital events. And I don't know if it's ever coming back, E3.
No.
I'd like, honestly, to have it back. It's kind of unique. You've been there, Francesco. It's a pretty good feeling when the whole industry is there and you see a lot of games all at once. It's tiring, but it is pretty
It'll
cool.
never come back, I don't think. It's not only that, it's just the organizers were a bit shit.
Yeah. I think one of the big reasons was the fuck up with people's data when they just leaked them all over the place.
Yeah, that didn't help either.
There's even our stuff was in there when they leaked that.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Gamescom was still bigger than E3 this last year, and even Gamescom didn't have the same some of the bigger companies. But E3 was always going to struggle because it never had that segmented area where you always had that intermingling. You need areas where if you want it to be an expo for the companies as well, you need areas where the companies can show off to the press without the massive throng of everything.
Well, E3 wasn't open to the public until recently, I think.
Yeah, but I think that was also one of the downfalls. They did that to make more money, but the problem is they made money to start with, but they were also losing interest. It wasn't working for publishers.
I think I read somewhere that prices were very, very high.
Oh yeah,
that's a good reason not to go, especially now that everybody seems to be laying off somebody.
Yeah.
So if you have to cut costs, that is the first thing to go.
Yeah.
But Summer Game Fest is going ahead, so Geoff Keighley basically killed E3 with
E3 killed E3. Geoff Keighley is just a vulture picking on the carcass.
But well, at least we'll still get the announcements and shows, whatever. It looks like there will be a PlayStation showcase likely before Naughty 3 week, and then we'll also have, of course, the Xbox showcase and Summer Game Fest, like I said, and Ubisoft Forward as well. So I guess we'll still need to see what Nintendo does.
Nintendo just keep doing what Nintendo
does.
They'll
do that. They'll do their direct. I don't remember if they did that last year. They had a direct alongside the E3 for a long time.
The thing is, after Zelda, what do they have? Just Metroid, right? Just Metroid 4.
Yeah, well, that is not coming out this year for sure, because they restarted development, I think, a couple of years ago, and they don't have anything really, so they will have to show something for the second half of the year.
Yeah, and also they don't have the new console ready apparently. So
yeah, that's true. Well, if they're going to announce something, I think now will be the time between this summer and probably early fall, if they release the Switch 2, let's call it like that, like they released the first Switch. I think they released that in February.
The Switcheroo.
Right. The Super Switch.
Switcheroo.
However they're going to call it.
Speaking of Switch, what did you think about the Zelda showcase, Francesco? Did you like it?
Well, as you know, I'm not a huge fan of Breath of the Wild. I mean, hot take. I prefer the other more smaller Zelda games. Well, to be honest, I prefer the 2D ones, then the 3D ones, and then Breath of the Wild. But to be honest, some people have been criticizing that because it feels like Breath of the Wild DLC. But I don't think so, because what we have seen, I think it expands the playground kind of feel that Breath of the Wild had. Because when you can mash things together, you can mash anything together. If the world supports this properly, I think it's going to be much better than Breath of the Wild. I can tell you that it got me interest. Not enough to buy it at launch, but more interested than the wasteland that is Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild is impressive, but it's kind of empty, that world. So this looks like they're stepping up on the interactivity a bit, and they still have weapon durability that I hate, but at least you can make weapons out from anything really this time.
I guess the only problem will be the Switch frame rate. Well, until they get it working on PC.
Well, they will, because they're going to probably at launch or close by. Because I can't see how the Switch will run that with all these objects that you can interact with. I mean, usually that stuff has a lot of pressure on the CPU, and well, the Switch is what it is. So I expect a lot of drops with the physics too. I expect a lot of drops.
15 FPS.
Yeah, I expect something very bad. To be honest, they probably should have held it back until the next hardware. Well, they did that with Breath of the Wild because, as you remember, it was announced for the Wii U originally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
So
a cross-gen game.
yeah,
They'll do the
but
same this time.
yeah, they'll do the same this time, but not at launch. I think Breath of the Wild it
Yeah.
was
Yeah, they
cross-gen at
make the
launch.
super duper edition for
Yeah,
the new
when
console.
the time will come, yeah, but yeah, I can see that running like shit because all these things they've
Yeah,
added. Then the world is even bigger because you got the skies and the underground, and if you
yeah.
separate them, it's it's no longer an open world.
So what you're
So
saying is you want to review Breath of the Wild too?
no, not really. No, well, we're not really. I'm
It's
just
not even
curious.
possible because of
Yeah, it's not even
Nintendo,
possible
but
to, but yeah, I'm just
I mean,
reviewing a game like I think reviewing a game like that is kind of complicated because of how open the thing can be. I mean, you would have to play around with all the systems a
yeah.
long time. I think it would be very stressful.
I'd review it. I'll review it. I'll buy it and review it.
we'll leave
Mainly
it
so
to
I can just
Nate.
say shit, just
Well,
to garner attention.
anyway, did you guys play anything this week or
No,
nothing?
well, it's just the same as for
Same
me
as
as
last
last time.
week. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
So
Still
we're
still
both quite
working on
empty.
the Resident Evil 4 remake.
How about
Still
you
that.
then, Alessio? We've got nothing.
Yeah, well, mostly I played basically the Forza Horizon 5 update, which added DLSS 3. And I actually encountered a weird bug where basically adding enabling DLSS 3 kind of worsened the fluidity of the game for some reason. And I was like, what the heck? This never happened. And it turns out that basically I found a bug with a setting in the control panel of NVIDIA that basically, well, if you enable MFAA, which is kind of an old form of anti-aliasing which interacts with MSAA, but basically if you turn that on, for some reason DLSS3 in this game is shit. But if you turn it off, it's just normal again. So I was kind of a beta tester for NVIDIA, I guess,
Yeah.
in that regard. And also, well, I've been playing a bit of The Last of Us, Part 1 on PC. And, well, to be honest, I can't speak to the launch date because, like I said, I was busy with Forza Horizon 5. They basically launched on the same day. So I didn't play the launch version, which did
Everybody
got a
is
lot
slated.
yeah. But on the other hand, they were very quick with releasing, I think, 2 or 3 patches already. So I only tried the game after the latest patch, which I think was yesterday. And to be honest, as it is right now, I'm not seeing that many issues. So either I'm lucky, I didn't see any bugs or whatever, or
I
they
think
fix it.
I think it's because you have that system with you. Because I've read that many of the issues are due to surprise, low VRAM.
Yeah, that's certainly one thing.
That's one of the issues. So I don't think you're going to encounter any of these with a 4090.
Yeah, indeed. Actually, the game does an interesting thing in the graphics settings. It tells you exactly how much RAM you have busy. You have basically filling. Not only with the game, but also with the OS and the apps, so you can get a full overview of how much RAM you have free, basically. And yeah, like you said, well, I have plenty of VRAM, so
He's
I
got a
didn't
whole
really.
2 of them.
Well, it's 24 gigabytes, so I don't, Francesco. How much is it in the 3070?
8.
8. Yeah. So it's yeah.
What have you
It looks
bought?
like. It
Sorry?
looks like.
How's you got 24 if it's what? What have you bought?
Well, to be honest, even the 3090 had 24 gigabytes.
Yeah,
It's just
it's a pro tier type of card. The
Yeah.
90.
You've got too much money.
Yes and no, but other than that, yeah. Well, like I said, I didn't encounter too many issues. There were, a few stutters, but nothing too bad. And well, the game looks very good. To be honest, I didn't play the remake on PS5, so I can't directly compare to it.
Yeah.
But it does look very good, and well, it's still an amazing game. So I'd say, if you've never played the game, because you didn't have a PlayStation console, then get it. As soon as these low VRAM issues are resolved, if you have low VRAM. But yeah, it does seem like 8 gigabytes graphics cards are going to struggle from now on. So
I'm going to upgrade when the prices drop a bit. I'm going to upgrade.
Did you see the 4070 is likely to be $600?
Yeah, but for the price they are apparently asking, it's too much of a little jump for me in performance. I mean, I'd rather go with the 4070 Ti because it's just like a little bit. It just costs a little bit more, but it's a slightly bigger difference. Well, I can't go higher because it doesn't fit in. Those 3-slot cards don't fit in my case, so I'm stuck with 2-slot cards. And there are a couple 4070 Ti's that have 2 slots, so I can get them in my case.
Oh dear.
I'm kinda limited this time around with upgrade options, but I will have to because, like you said, 8 gigs is just not enough anymore. Just
yeah, well,
and for 4K resolution, obviously, because lower resolution.
Yeah. To be fair, I mean it's been a long time, and since we've had a new requirement, especially also for the actual central RAM. Most games are now recommending 32 gigabytes, so there is that as well. But yeah, I guess that's it for me today. Do you have anything to add?
No.
I can't think of anything. No, no, nothing from me. So yeah, we've made good time anyway. Oh, my cat's behind me. There you are. Kitty cat. So yeah, no, I've not been playing anything new, and neither has Francesco, so I think that's it. And we will see everybody next week. Little kitty cat. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.